What's going on, everyone? My name is Matt, and as a lot of you know, there were some really terrible things that happened last Friday on the 13th of November in Paris, in France, and I thought today I'd share my opinions with you in this video. Feel free to leave a comment on what you think about the whole situation, and feel free to disagree with me. This is just my opinion, but I thought a few of you might be interested to hear what I have to say, and I feel like I want to get this off my chest and put it in a video of some kind for you to watch. Muslims are all terrorists. That's something that I've heard on the internet quite a lot, and more so recently after what happened on Friday. Now, first of all, that is just so wrong. I'm not going to go into the details of what actually happened on the night in Paris. There's floods of news articles. Be careful. Some might be hoaxes, some might be false. Be careful what you read, but there's plenty you can read up about that. I'm just going to talk about my opinion on the way people have reacted to it. Now, a lot of people have said that we should just destroy Muslims. People have ignorantly said that we should just take out all the Muslims and that all our troubles would be over. There are over 1 billion Muslims in the whole world, so we can't just wipe out that entire race. And the amount of Muslims that claim to be a part of ISIS, I think I read somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 0.04%. And although that is a few million people, that is nothing compared to the amount of peaceful Muslims there are, because Islam is a religion of peace. That's what it promotes. So in my opinion, the people in ISIS that claim to be part of this religion and claim that they are doing it for their love and devotion to that religion don't have the right to be a part of that religion, because the religion promotes peace. I learned about it at school. I know it's not much, but I learned that it is a very peaceful religion. I haven't met many Muslims in my life, but one of my friends, Max, he is a Muslim, and he is a really good friend to me. Although I don't see him often, I regard him as a really good friend, and he is such a nice guy. And how can you lump him into a group that terrorizes people? You cannot say that all Muslims are terrorists. That's just straight up wrong. To use a popular comparison, that would be like saying that I am a member of the KKK, which is just wrong on so many levels. Originally on Facebook, I didn't change my picture with the French flag overlay just because I didn't want to feel like I was trying to get in on something personal for other people just because I wanted to follow the crowd. But eventually I did change my picture to have the French flag on it after I saw a video of the attacks on the news and hearing the story, and that's what really made me angry, I think you could probably say. When news station after news station reports how the death toll is increasing and just says it all as statistics, that's eventually what it becomes, and that is when you lose touch with what's actually happening. When you look at the actual video and you realise that every single statistic is a person, it really hits home, because every single person that those people killed had a family who loved them, had a future ahead that they will never have, and that is... It is terrifying. It does make you question the motivation behind the killers of the people, because trying to think about it, trying to put yourselves in the mind of someone who would do something that insane, it's just impossible to think what could drive them to do something like that. We can't deny that a lot of the terrorists we hear about in mainstream media claim to do it for Islam, but that does not mean that all Muslims are terrorists whatsoever. Another thing that I've seen a lot on social media is to do with their outrage about the media coverage of the event and other events in the world. Many people argue that thousands upon thousands die a day as a result of ISIS attacks or attacks in the name of different religions. It's just that we don't cover it. That is definitely true. Like, for instance, the explosions in Lebanon, or the guy who saved a bunch of people from tackling a guy with a suicide vest and unfortunately died. The problem is that the media doesn't report on that like it does with the Paris thing, and I'll tell you why. In the Western world, we often hear about what's going on in the East. We often hear about the atrocities and the people that die, but when it happens somewhere in the West, like Paris, it makes the whole situation a little bit more real. It makes us seem more vulnerable, like it could happen to anyone in our country, because there were a couple of people there that were British, and one of them, at least as far as I know, who was British, did lose their lives in the events that happened. So while it is tragic that these things are going on, the media's reporting on it because it makes it feel like it could happen to us. But I agree when you say it should be equally represented. That is true. Unfortunately, that's just not how the media works. But to the people that are saying all Muslims are terrorists, I don't know how you can say that, because there are now Muslims across the world who are ashamed, they are embarrassed, and they're also just as terrified. We all know that the West will retaliate to what's happened. They will probably send airstrikes over there, but that will lead to innocent people dying as well. Muslims and people of other different religions, as a result of what a small minority has done. It's definitely heartwarming to see the world come together and join, showing the French flag colours, but if we're gonna do this, we need to realise that it's a very small minority of people. We can't just slate anyone who's mildly associated with it just because these terrorists claim to be doing what they're doing for a religion, which they are not. Because the true Islam religion is peaceful, and that is how it should be practiced. If you're killing people, you are not peaceful, and it's just plain wrong. I guess I kind of just wanted to get my thoughts out there on this. It is absolutely terrible, and it was really, really hard-hitting when I saw the news video. When I saw the article, it was kind of hard to believe, but in a sad kind of way, it just felt like another news article. But when I saw the videos, that really made me angry, because you feel a sense of humanity, you empathize in some way. Obviously, you don't feel what they're feeling, but you feel terrified for them, for what's happening. And the odds of me dying in a terrorist attack, for example, are extremely, extremely low. Like, it's almost impossible. But that doesn't mean that the threat's still there, and that's what's kind of scary about it. But to the people that are ignorant enough to say that it's all Muslims' fault, just stop, because it's not true, and you're making Muslims' lives worse. Innocent Muslim lives are going to be ruined because of the way they're now going to be treated by other people. And Muslims are, on the whole, great people, in the same way that Christians, on the whole, are great people, in the same way that atheists, on the whole, are great people. Every group just has minorities that just aren't as great. There was no real factual, scientifical insight to this video. It was just my opinion that I felt like I wanted to add. I wanted to fuel discussion, because if people talk about it, then who knows what can happen. It'll keep the discussion going, and maybe something will be done about it. I personally don't know how we can destroy terror, or whether that's even feasible at this moment in time, but if we keep talking about it, then maybe positive things will start happening. Humanity has got through things like this before, and they've come out the other side, so it's just another thing that we need to get together and do. My thought goes out to anyone who was some way involved, or knows someone that was involved, anyone that was affected by this in any way. My thoughts are with you, because it truly was terrible. And yes, I am a bit worried as to what will happen in the future, but we're just gonna have to wait and find out. I'll be really interested to hear your comments in the comment section below. Sorry to those of you that are mainly subscribed to my channel that this wasn't a funny video or anything like that, but this is my channel also to view my opinions, to voice my opinions rather. So yeah, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!